My invitation is open. Come join me on the island of Bugsnax.
Liz! I was trying to carry a lamp with my weenie hands, but I dropped it, and now the town's on fire.
Oh, again?
It's Bugsnax.
Welcome back once again. Oh, do you want to interrupt me, Shaun? Do you have something to say?
Well,
Go on.
I was going to say it before you started recording, but it's right. It can go in it. If you don't open this with just a clip of a certain game, I'm going to be annoyed. I want to see some visuals.
We know
on
what
this
that
one.
certain game is. We all know what it is.
Hopefully, if you're watching this, you'll already know what game that is. Because Jimmy would have done his job properly.
It stars Keanu Reeves and Alana Pierce. It's clearly Bugsnax. They're both in that.
Fuck's sake. The thing is, though, right?
That is the game we're going to put on first, but it's not the game they're starring in.
It's probably a good thing you said Keanu Reeves, because there's probably a load of people that if you just left it without that, then it wouldn't even have been like a tease, because it'd be like, who the fuck is that?
Well, it's starring a random strawberry that talks and some bugs that eat fruit. I don't even. We're big fans.
Some
of
bugs that
fruit.
are snacks.
Yeah, bugs
and do the snacking and God knows what. You'll have to buy the game to find out. You need to buy the game to find out what shenanigans are going to go down.
I need to intro us anyway. So my name's Jimmy. The other dude's Shaun, and Shaun's dad if he wants to come in again. Depends.
No, that's not happening this time. I mean, I was saying about it like people would actually know that it happened, but
yeah,
no one knows that there was a thing.
Secrets.
That's a little Easter egg for you. Can you really listen in the recording to hear my conservatory door opening during the recording of the Pokemon episode? If you can, tweet me. Tweet me with the clip.
So this podcast will be our most anticipated games of the next generation. So we're both getting
this episode
PS5s.
will be 2 minutes long,
I believe. I mean, I'm getting one. I have one ordered. I assume you'll get one as soon as you can.
I will be, yes. But unfortunately, no, we're hasn't he at the moment.
Yeah, a game is apparently taking money early. So I was having a discussion with someone that I know who also got one ordered, and the theory is that we may actually get them delivered a week earlier than the release date, because our release date's a week behind America and all these places. So game might be cheeky and do it early because they're taking it 2 weeks early rather than 1 week early. So that's the theory.
I personally can't see that happening.
I can't see it. I can't see it, but it wouldn't be the first time it's ever happened. And we'll wait and see on that. But we're talking about the games right now. So Bugsnax. There's no other answer really, is there? The most anticipated game of the next generation is Bugsnax.
And to make it even better, they're giving it to you for free.
Exactly. PlayStation Plus, the first PS5 game will be Bugsnax. You can get it for free.
So there you go.
You can play with your friends.
You can buy yourself a PlayStation. You don't have to buy any of the games for the console. It's going to be really cheap.
Exactly.
Because you don't need to pay £60 odd, however much next generation games are going to be. Just buy the console, download Bugsnax for free, and you're fine until they bring up whatever the generation after these are going to be.
Well, it's hard to predict what's going to come out in the PS5, but we'll talk about the most anticipated games for us for what's been announced so far. Obviously Bugsnax is top of the list, but we have to have some second places, and for me the most anticipated game personally is Cyberpunk 2077, which was
and I think will be most people's as well.
Yeah, which was recently delayed by a month, and it's also not getting a straight up PS5 or Xbox Series X release. It's going to be a PS4, Xbox One, which will be upgraded, as in you can play it on PS5 and Xbox, maybe with a bit of a faster loading times or whatever, and then later down the line they'll bring out a PS5 release. But I will be getting the base version because I want to play this game for like 3 years now, or 7 years since it got announced. but mainly the past 3 years. So that is the highlight. That is the game that features Keanu Reeves, Alana Pierce. I don't actually know any of the other people in the game, but they're the two that have really stood out to
So
me.
neither do I, but I just think it's quite funny that had they have just sacked off trying to get it on all formats of like having the PS4 and Xbox One, and then also having the newer generation. If they just went with the newer generation, they might have been fine and had it ready for release.
Well, that's the issue was the game was being made. It's been like in development for years, and even this year we didn't even know we were gonna get for sure we were gonna get a PS5 and an Xbox Series X, and then like suddenly I think June or something, all these developers were told that you need to make your games for the next generation if they're coming out after this time. So they're all like, okay, we need to make sure we can play it there and here, and I think that really put it really provided an issue to, in this case, CD Projekt Red. But they are taking time to focus on the game further than what was originally meant to be. It was meant to come out on the 19th of November. It's now coming out on the 12th of December, I believe, which isn't that big of a deal, and I prefer they perfected the game rather than going into further crunch time and making their staff work even longer than they've had to. They're giving them more time rather than doing that, and that's respectable. They are one of the best developers in the game. The Witch series is phenomenal. And while obviously they might have their problems, just like every other company in the world, which people seem to forget and like to throw abuse their way at because of, I still think Cyberpunk 2077 will be the game that will define at least the early part of this generation, just like Grand Theft Auto has defined pretty much this whole generation and the generation before that, somehow. And it's probably, since it's coming out on next generation as well, be prepared to see it take off again. But Cyberpunk 27.
So we're not putting Cyberpunk at second. GTA's got to go second for the most anticipated. Okay, you got Bugsnax 1. GTA 5 has got to be at number 2. Then.
No, I can't.
Because we're all waiting for that.
Oh, we're definitely.
None of us ever played it before. We don't know what's coming. Can't wait for it.
We've never played GTA at all. No, not once, not a single time. Definitely no. But have you got any thoughts on Cyberpunk or GTA
I think
or Bugsnax?
Cyberpunk, I think it just shows that how anticipated this game is just by how angry a lot of people, let's say, a section of the gaming community has got over the delay of the games. Is that in a way they must be like, please just give us time to get this game because they want to get it right and they want it to be ready. But part of you must also be going, it might also be looking good for them because they know that people are wanting this game because they're moaning.
Yeah. Well, the thing that annoys me are people that say, I've just cancelled my pre-order because you delayed the game again. Or people like, I booked time off work to play this game and you've done this to me. And you're like, they're not working around your schedule. They're working around their own stuff. You can't complain about them going into crunch because they've had to get this game out and then deciding, no, we want to delay the game so it's perfect and that we have more time rather than overworking our staff as much as we were, and then say, nah, fuck you. Like, what are you complaining about? They
are currently in a lose-lose situation.
Yeah. And
they delay the game. You have some people moan that, oh, you're delaying the game, or they bring it out earlier and it's not complete, and you get people moaning, oh, why have you brought this game out when it's not ready yet?
Yeah.
So no matter what, people are going to moan and it's going to be an issue. So they might as well just take the one where they can make their game better.
Yeah. The big argument here is that they said the Cyberpunk's gone gold, which basically means the game's finished. But it means more so that the base game is finished. Like, all of the elements that need to be there are there. Doesn't mean it's not a buggy mess. Doesn't mean this and that. It just means, like, the base game is finished. They don't need to do any more work on that. They need to play test it, make sure everything's good. And that's the stuff quality assurance is important, and people don't really understand that. And there are a lot of problems they're facing, with COVID, with all this. They need the time, and they're giving themselves time to get this game out. So it's still the top of my list. Sorry, Bugsnax. But yeah,
How dare you?
I'm sorry it had to happen. Another game on my list, which is far off but had a short tease, was God of War 2. You have not played the newest God of War, have you, Shaun? Because you
no, because I have an Xbox.
Yep. I would recommend when you get a PlayStation, because there's the PS Plus collection, which gives you access to pretty much all of the top games on the console. So you'll have a lot of games to play, Shaun. I would recommend God of War be on that list for you. And
so then you better not bug me all the time to play Warzone then and give me time to play these other games.
Nope.
Well then,
Okay.
You won't have more content for this podcast because I would have just played Warzone for 3 months and have nothing else to talk about.
What's wrong with that? Come on, Call of Duty is the future. It's really not. But yeah, God of War 2 has me excited. We know nothing about the game other than that it's coming. It might not even come out for another 2 years, which is why I'm not going to talk a lot about it, but it is on that list. The games that are announced really are there aren't a lot of them. We don't know exactly when each one is coming out. You've got the new Ratchet and Clank, the new Resident Evil, which is high up on my list, but I will wait and see how that one turns out. You've got the new Spider-Man, Miles Morales. You've got some other stuff which I've completely forgotten. Whoops.
Gran Turismo. Which I knew you'd forget, but I'm excited for because I'm just a fan of racing games. Played Gran Turismo from back on PS2, so it'd be interesting to see what they're able to do with the more powerful console and how nice they can make the game look, basically with better graphics.
Yeah. Xbox.
Obviously, there's not as much to talk about as there's not much controversy around it or anything like that, but it is something I'm looking forward to.
Xbox has the new Halo coming out, which has not been well received from early footage, which I think is a bit unfair on them, because I don't know what people expected. Did they expect, like, the new generation to be the best graphics ever created? You're not going to see much of a graphical change unless you have, like, the newest TV.
How dare these new consoles not project these images directly into my brain?
Exactly. You've got a new Fable coming out there. You've got a bunch of stuff. There's a bunch of stuff for both games, both consoles. Sorry. A lot of the Xbox stuff will be available on PC, which is a driving force behind why I'm getting a PS5 as well. Other than the fact that I play my PS5 more, but if I ever wanted to play an Xbox game, I'd just play it on PC. If I'm that desperate. And the only real series I keep up to now, other than I haven't really kept up to Halo since Reach, Halo 4 was when I really stopped playing, but I still keep up with, like, Gears of War, so that's the only one that I'd really be looking at getting. Whereas on PlayStation, there's just so much that I love. The Last of Us, God of War, just to name a couple. But yeah, I'm excited for those games. I'm excited to see how things turn out. Just trying to think, like, what else.
So there is a very big game you've missed out that is coming out in literally about a week, which is Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
Yes, I was about to say Assassin's Creed. That's the one, Valhalla. I do plan on getting that at some point. I hope it's good. I completed every single Assassin's Creed but Unity. It's the only one I haven't actually played, but I know it's not a very good game, so I'm not that bothered about going back to play it. But I am very excited for Valhalla. I loved Origins. I loved Odyssey, even though Odyssey was stuffed with things to do. Absolutely stuffed, and they were all very repetitive, but the game was very fun, as in like traveling around this ancient Greece, going around assassinations. I love RPGs, but I'm not a huge fan of the RPG aspects in those games. The best parts of these games are the the system where you get like sort of hunted, which was a play on the Nemesis system from the Middle Earth Shadow of Mordor and Shadow of War games, which were excellent, which I recommend playing if you haven't played, Sean.
Do you know that I have the game and I haven't played it yet?
Yeah, I've forgotten. But yeah, I definitely recommend to anyone to play those games if you haven't. But yeah, it's looking like it's going to be a very interesting, I would say, year, because I don't know when all these games are actually going to be released. Some of them are coming out soon, like Valhalla. I think the new Watch Dogs is either out or coming out. I'm not sure if it's out in the UK, even though it's set in London. But that might be something to look into if you're a big Watch Dogs fan. I personally only played like half of the first one. Not to say it was bad or anything. I just never went back to finish it. So I don't know how to feel about this one. I'll have a look at what the reviews say. But there are games I'm at. Obviously Cyberpunk, obviously Assassin's Creed I'm into. There are probably a bunch of games I've forgotten. But I will be on the lookout. The new Spider-Man, obviously, there. And there are a few older PlayStation games that I want to play, like Ghost of Tsushima, which I have not played and just been waiting for the PS5 to come out just to play it on that. So yeah, I don't know if you've got anything else to add.
But just in general, I just think there has been a bit of a lack of information on games coming out. Like, we obviously got the reveals on the games, but since then I feel like we haven't really heard much else of either any of the games coming out or information on when they're actually coming out. That I feel like there was so much hype. I don't know if it's just because they left us waiting so long for, especially with the PlayStation, of a reveal of what the console looked like, and then with both consoles of a release date and a price, that kind of like the hype around the games just wasn't really there because nothing. We were still waiting to find all this information about the console. That then, so I feel like a lot of the information just a bit been lost with the games. So we haven't really had the hype of, oh my god, this game's coming out, because we're just too busy right up until like a month and a half ago when we got like the prices and everything. We've been waiting for that for so long that's what everyone's been focusing on.
Well, before we end this podcast as well, we'd be amiss to not say that we're slightly anticipating the new Call of Duty. Not that we're super excited for it, but we spent the majority of this year playing Warzone. So to say we wouldn't be playing the new Call of Duty,
as you may well know if you watch some of the other videos that Jimmy has put up of his gameplay.
Although I still have a lot of clips, but the PlayStation isn't the best device to be recording these clips because it takes about a year to send one clip to a USB drive. So I sort of put off doing them.
There's no commentary on the clips either.
They're just not. They're not that fun. They don't get that many. Obviously, a lot of our channel doesn't get views because we're a new channel, but they're probably the least enticing of the videos we put out. So I just stopped doing them until I get to a point where I could record it, or one of us could record it and put it out.
Do you know what I'm anticipating for Jimmy?
What?
I'm anticipating your next Pokemon video.
Yeah.
Where have they gone? Where have they gone, Jimmy? You're leaving us all waiting.
Well,
we want to know what's going to happen.
The problem was because we started doing the podcasts more, I just sort of preferred to do like these sort of chunks of recordings, and then because you try and I know you do it as well when you try to do your Pokemon cards, but you try and do it when no one's around. With podcasts, I'm fine because we're just talking like we would if we're playing Warzone, really, just discussing stuff. But with Pokemon, I have to be talking about this and that, and you like a peace and quiet, environment. And I know we play COD in the evening, so I have to do it before that. And before that, I'm just getting interrupted by everyone who wants to talk or do something else. So I'm like,
stop acting like you have friends to talk to.
No, I'm family. I live with family, man.
Yeah, stop acting I
don't have friends. I do have friends. I don't want to put myself down like that. But it's just
People
about finding.
Comment if you want to be friends with Jimmy. Let's find some friends.
I need friends, yes,
please.
But it's just about finding the right time to do it, and I just haven't felt like wanting to do it. I've lost that drive because I've been playing Pokemon Sword and Shield recently, and I've just lost the drive to really play Emerald again for a while. I'll eventually go back to it. I will. I promise I will eventually go back and attempt to finish it. The last time I played it, it was in the last episode, but I did a ton of grinding. Not too much, but I just thought it'd be best to grind while I was in the I think it was Dewford. I think Dewford's the city. I think I was meant to be fighting the gym there, but I never did. So that would be the next point if I ever. Well, I said I promised to do it, but if I do it soon enough, but don't expect it until the new year, I would assume.
Boo.
Boo. Well, the aim would be to eventually like do something with you, maybe like Pokemon Sword and Shields. I don't know, just something alongside you, like our own little thing where we set our own rules and compete against each other a little bit. But for now, I'm stuck with a laptop that likes to not work half the time, like what happened at the start of these recordings where OBS just wasn't working. So yeah, it sort of killed my enjoyment. I have a new chair that I can actually use now to record, so I should maybe do it, but I'm kind of also waiting for a desk. This has turned into my life story here.
I was just about to say, I love how we've gone from Anticipate Games to Jimmy's life story.
Look, this is your fault. You brought up the Pokemon Emerald.
I'm just saying that I was anticipating it. This was
It will come
a
one day.
video on Anticipated Games, and I'm anticipated for this episode of that game.
We're not just a focused podcast. We're a podcast where we go off topic. Those are the best podcasts. The podcasts
No, we're
that
not
go
off topic. That another company owns off topic. You can't say that.
Okay, all right. You've killed it now. We've killed it. We've killed this podcast. I don't think we've got anything else to say. This is just a basic discussion on what we want to, not what we want to see, but what we're excited for out of the stuff that's been announced. Mainly Bugsnax and Cyberpunk. Those are the big two for me. Assassin's Creed's interesting, and COD because we love zombies, and Warzone. That's pretty much it. And I love the story.
If you have made it to this point in the video, please, for love of God, fucking subscribe. Please share it. And let us know what you want to hear, because we need ideas.
We do need ideas. We're going through it next week. Well, I don't know when this podcast's coming out. I think maybe Monday or Tuesday, but maybe later in that week then. We're going to be trying to do the VAR podcast that we promised to do about 2 podcasts ago and haven't done yet. So
if you want to see me get angry, wait for that. Yeah. Hold up, that is coming.
I'm letting Shaun release all his anger. I have my frustrations, but I really want Shaun to take control of that podcast.
We're just building up more shit now. This needs to come out, so there's more to rant about.
Yeah. All right. Enjoy your PS5s or Xboxes or whatever you get, and we hope Cyberpunk doesn't get delayed again because we want to see it.